Often there is a certain perspective that's been adopted that being alone is somehow an offense or a bad thing, as though it's something we should shun because it means you're not pretty enough, successful enough, or bold enough to be in the light of others. While it's true that we are all born to this realm with a pervading sense of loneliness, it is the human condition to overcome that conditioning, to realize that we, in fact, are not alone at all. Once this truth is realized, being alone becomes a solace instead of a hindrance or an empty space needing to be filled. One begins to enjoy their time without that feeling. Underneath the surface of this experience is a deeper meaning and a hidden growth that most of us in the adult world haven't come to grips with. And that is the deeper self, alchemized through the pain of facing the false self. In an ever-changing society that encourages more and more of our own isolation, that pervading sense of loneliness gives birth to the uplifting voice within the psyche, soul, and spirit of our entire existence. Humanity has been spun on the miraculous wheel of repeating history for far too long. Yet we, within ourselves, have the power to change that. If we can at first accept the power that we actually do have. With each crushing defeat, bad experience, or traumas, some find it easier to cave into that weakness and feel as though they're somehow unworthy. Unworthy of love, unworthy of compassion, unworthy of truth, unworthy of, well, even themselves. But through the dark pits of our unconscious mind and disconnected hearts, there is that sense of hope that feels as though it can be squashed by outside forces. Man is currently at war with its own essence and its own heart and the higher truths. Yes, some get caught up in the war. Those well-meaning can't get stuck at certain stages. And some never leave the battlements or the field of rage that swells with a belly full of hatred towards ourselves and others, and hunger twisting and writhing in the emptiness of the voids. Some take the mantle of their heart, however, and look upon it bravely, to face the pain of the so-called emptiness or the void that shadows the internal power. Because you see, throughout our history, we've been conditioned by these external forces to not only ignore the fact that we are more powerful as a species than we think, and that our hearts are strong, but that our own soul should be condemned for our, quote, unholiness. Then we are taught that it's our own fault for simply existing by certain voices within the world that like to express the power over our own hearts. But most of us know that we're not rats stuck in a maze with one another, meant to feed on one another and our environment until there is nothing left. No, we're meant to break free of the mind-numbing exercise, which pits us against one another just to get that last piece of food, that last dollar bill, that last breath of air, or that last pill. Those that hear me know exactly what I mean. Our very own nature has been turned against us, but it doesn't have to be this way. We are meant to take up the mantle of our pain and rise like phoenixes from what's been shoved into us or down our throats, forced to drink, forced to accept a poison we didn't want. To see the truth through the fires of our own denials, and the shadows around us which persist in the quiet. Love, divine love, and waking up to the fact that the truth has remained hidden from us so that bare, naked, ugly can be thrown onto the table for our examination. Whatever is going on inside of you right this very second is simply asking for your attention. Not the television, not your smartphone, not Facebook, not Instagram, not a text, not a friend down the road, not your partner, not your parents. Your heart is calling out for you to reconcile and face who you are with strength every single day. That beating within your heart is calling for you to pay attention to the truth of your nature within your own uniting force of will, spirit, love, and strength. You know within yourself exactly what it is you haven't faced because of all the distractions. The truth of the pain and separation is only a gateway to the unknown, and infinite truth being unheard amongst the millions of voices around you that lie. The question is, what is your heart calling for you to do? What does your heart scream at you within the early hours of the morning or late at night? What does it beat for? Is it simply an organ meant to pump this blood through your system? Oh, it's something much deeper and much more powerful. I'll tell you that. There is a sacredness within you, within all of us, the love within all of us, in the dark and the light. Now is the time to face it and integrate the heart back into our core being. You can do it. I know you can.